guys, I come to you today with my hair drying for a very casual chat, which is something I almost never do on this channel. This is unscripted, insert lip pun, I guess. I have a couple notes written down, but for the most part, we're just gonna see what comes out of my mouth. And these are gonna be things that I never have time to discuss in other videos because I always try to keep my video length down. For wrap-ups, I'm talking about 10 to 15 books, and I try to keep them 12 minutes or under. Review videos I like to keep under 10 minutes, TBRs under 7 minutes, those sorts of things. So I never end up getting to say some of these things that are bouncing around in my head about my channel and about random things. So let's go. Okay, first order of business is a quick Booker winner reaction. Some people wanted me to make a separate video on this. It's not necessary. I only have a couple things to say. So almost a month ago now, Lincoln in the Bardo by George Saunders won the Booker Prize. And if you watched my Man Booker Shortlist wrap-up, you know that that was my favorite and the one I wanted to win. Now, I've only had the time to read through full shortlists the past couple years for a few prizes. So it's not like I have a huge sample size here, but this is the first time for me that my favorite book won a prize, and it was so exciting. Like, I was in shock about it. And that's not in a woe is me, the judges never choose the ones I like kind of attitude. It just really is statistically unlikely that your favorite book from a long list or short list is going to be chosen by a panel of judges who have completely different experiences and thoughts about books than you do. So I am absolutely thrilled about it. The other thing that was exciting about the win was that I said that George Saunders couldn't win this year, basically, because An American Man won last year, and Saunders is also an American man. And that was totally wrong. I was wrong. The judges had to know the kind of headlines they were going to get out of that decision. Second American wins in a row. Should Americans be part of the Booker Prize? Because Americans were only allowed in recently. And I think that that is still a healthy debate to be had. I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world, or even a bad thing, if Americans were kicked out of the Booker Prize. But as long as they are allowed in the prize, it can't be a factor for them winning or not winning the nationality. I think that's a stupid way to choose. And the judges didn't choose based on that. And so I think that the Booker Prize has earned some faith from me that I wasn't giving them before, and less cynicism. So I'll say it once again, I was wrong, and I'm very happy to have been wrong. The one tiny sad thing about this is that Allie Smith still hasn't won the Booker, and I think Lincoln in the Bardo was a much better book than Autumn, you know, in my estimation. But I think she's incredible, and Eric Carl Anderson commented in one of my videos that he thinks that the last book in her seasonal quartet, Summer, is going to win all the awards known to man and woman, and I very much hope that's the case too, if it's good. Hang on guys, I need to take my socks off because it's just like so hot in this room. These are really cute though, so I'll show you a little close up. These are like fishbowl socks. Anyway, this really is unscripted. All right, and the rest of the things are all personal reflections on my channel. I've had my channel for about 1.5 years now, and I honestly have like 3,000 more subscribers than I ever thought I'd have. So there are just things that I didn't anticipate that are interesting to me, or funny or weird. So I'm gonna talk about some of those now. So one of the things that's weird about having a channel for a certain length of time where you post regularly is that you end up tracking changes in your appearance in a way you wouldn't otherwise, because I don't take that many pictures of myself. I've never been in that many pictures. So now all of my hair choices are recorded, and I like to cut and color my hair a lot, and I don't even necessarily think about it if it looks good. I just like changing it up. Hair is fun for me. But now, like, all the choices are there, and I can go back and look and actually see like what looks good and what doesn't, which is weird. And also, so my skin changes shade a lot during the year, partially because of my background. My family's Italian, Lithuanian, Czech, and Irish, and the Italian is Sicilian. So I get pretty brown in the summer, and then like in the winter I look like a vampire, and you can see my skin changing like video by video at certain parts of the year, and like that's also just strange. I've never had that before. Also zits. Every time I've had a zit now, it's been recorded and it's just in that video forever, which isn't a big deal, but again, weird. And like days when I just wake up and I just can't, and it's laundry day and I just throw something on, or I haven't showered in a few days and I don't feel like it and I make a video anyway. Those are memorialized now, those choices, so that's good. And also just things like, I didn't intend for my bangs to be this short. I cut my bangs myself, and the last time I cut them I was just being lazy and I just went snip. And it was so high, like so much higher than I planned, and then I had to cut the rest like that. And now I have videos that will always remind me that I didn't plan to make my bangs this short. Anyway, this isn't interesting, but it's just something to think about if you're planning on making a channel. All your choices, you're gonna see all of them. Okay, another thing that I didn't anticipate is that starting sometime this summer, because I have this nice camera now, even though the sound is worse, I know the sound is worse than it was before. I do my best with it. I don't know how to make it better than it is now, but I will look into things. I switched to HD, right? I didn't think that switching to HD would be that big a deal. There's a certain thing with every video creator where you get used to the way that you look and the way your voice sounds in a way that you would never have to confront otherwise. I know it drives people crazy to hear themselves on answering machines and things, but that doesn't bother me anymore because I've had to edit so many videos of me talking. And it really does sort of make you come to terms with yourself and just like, oh, that is how my hair falls. That is how my voice sounds. Yes, 90% of my facial expressions are unflattering. That was just particular to me. So I'd come to terms with that, all that months before. Sorry, I have to do this so that my hair doesn't get too flat. But the first video that I edited in HD, it was like going back to my very first video that I'd ever edited. I was like, oh my god, like who knew that iMovie 2011 was looking at me like through the lens of someone who'd had several drinks. Yeah, HD does me no favors, which I mean, I think it's kind of hilarious. My own facial expressions, like I'll be like, girl, like what? Like never make that again, but I know I will because I don't arrange my face to look attractive. I arrange my face to express what I'm thinking and feeling. But it is funny now to have my videos in HD. And another thing that I didn't expect is that I have so many more teeth now in HD than I had before. Like, all my videos are just toothier than they were in iMovie 2011. I don't know how that's possible, but yeah, oh god, it's all funny. All right, another thing that I didn't anticipate about making videos, because like I said before, I have like 3,000 more subscribers than I ever thought I'd have, is that I have some dedicated haters now. I have people who come to my videos like early just to dislike them, which I know is a YouTube thing, and god, that's so much less of a problem on BookTube than it is in any other part of the YouTube universe. But I think I have a higher proportion of haters than like my subscriber count would suggest. I don't know what the aim of the dislike button is, because you're not trapped in a lecture hall. Like, all you have to do to go away is just lift your pointer finger and click. So and if you don't like something I say or disagree, I'm happy for you to put that in the comments, and I would imagine that commenting is more cathartic than the dislike button, although I don't actually know. So it's just a weird thing, and I know that it's not in relation to what I'm saying in videos, because I'll get dislikes on completely innocuous videos where I'm not even snarky at all. So it literally just means that the person's like, I don't like your face, I don't like your voice, I don't like your opinions, like I don't like politics or something. But the internet, man, like it is a strange place. Humans weren't meant to be put into situations where there wouldn't be social consequences for what we said and did. Okay, now I'm going to talk a little about things that comments over time have made me think. But I want to be clear that I'm not singling anybody out. If you think, oh, I wrote a comment like that, like, you are not blacklisted. It's really hard to regulate your tone in an internet comment. And also it takes courage to say anything. Like, I have all the power here. I speak for 10 minutes and then you get a few lines underneath to respond. And that's a weird dynamic. So I don't want anyone to feel self-conscious. Unless you're one of the very few people who's been rude, then please be more self-conscious than you are. So over the past few months, my channel has continued to grow. And now there are people who do care, at least a little bit, what my responses are to certain books, what I think about books, which is amazing. And that's how I feel about other booktubers. So it's just amazing to think that a few people feel that way about me. But just to be clear, I never get to the complexity that I want to with any book, even in individual book reviews, because you can only achieve that kind of complexity in a face-to-face conversation with somebody, where somebody can make a point and the other person can directly respond, and then you guys can go off on tangents here and then think about this, and you can't achieve that in an online setting. And over the past few months, I felt like I'm disappointing people sometimes for not being their voices about certain books. People, especially when I bring up books in TBRs, people sort of really, really hope that I'll love a certain book or tear a certain book down, but I can only share my own opinions. And of course I try to substantiate them, but they are opinions. And I'm self-conscious in a way I didn't used to be about being perceived as a certain kind of reader or thinker, depending on my responses to certain books, being seen as too highbrow by some people and too lowbrow by others. If I praise a popular book, some people are going to take that to mean that I'm a sheep. And if I criticize a popular book, some people are going to take that to mean that I'm a condescending harpy. And these worries haven't influenced the way that I talk about books on this channel, or at least not influenced that in a way that I can measure. I still just try to give a fair representation of what a book is about, the feel of the book, what the author was going for, and then give my own honest judgment. But it's just something that I've been thinking about, and I guess I want to give you guys a window on my personal mentality as a booktuber, and I think other people could probably identify with this who make book videos, and say that I can't be responsible for representing anyone else's opinions or mirroring them, and that I can't have the kinds of in-depth conversations that I would like to have with each of you if we were able to meet face-to-face. And for the record, I love when people write in the comments telling me their reactions to a book that I talked about. So, for example, in my review of Exit West, which is a book I didn't like at all, I got a lot of comments where people were like, this was my reading experience. And that's the healthy way to have these kinds of conversations, as much as this online format can allow. And I have to remind myself sometimes as a viewer that as much as I love so many booktubers, I haven't found a single one who I haven't had serious disagreements with about several books. Like, no one represents my exact taste. And that's great, because all our channels would be redundant if it were otherwise. And the last thing I want to talk about, because I know that I've gone on for a while now, is that I've been having a bad time of it recently. Just, things have been bad. Nothing catastrophic has happened, and so I know that, like, future me is gonna look back and want to slap myself and be like, wow, like, you think you have problems. My life is just in a state of flux right now. I'm looking for jobs and trying to build the life that I want, and it's a daunting thing, and I don't really know where to turn in certain ways. And there are other personal things that I won't get into, but I've been having a bad time of it, you know? My headspace has been toxic, and it's gotten to the point where I'm mentally yelling at myself all the time and calling myself a failure, you know, for big things, like not staying in touch with friends the way that I want to, but also for small things, like I'm calling myself a failure for the way I parallel park and the way I slice bread. It's like having like the world's worst commentary in your head all the time. And it's gotten a bit ridiculous, to be honest. I would never treat a friend or even someone I don't like the way I treat myself in my own head. And I have healthy self-esteem in a lot of respects. I'm not falling to pieces, but, you know, things have been bad. I'm bringing this up for two reasons. One is that if I promised to make a certain video, I still remember that I said that, and I'm not making those videos because I don't want to. There are other things involved. So just please believe me when I say that I want to make the videos that I promise you guys I'm going to make. And the second reason is that, you know, usually I'm smiling and upbeat in my videos, and that's not fake. That's how talking about books genuinely makes me feel. But I've found it powerful in the past when booktubers I watch have come out and said, my mental health has been terrible recently, because everybody seems so lovely and articulate and kissed by sunlight and happiness in their videos, but you don't know what's happening in anyone's life. And it's such a small window of observation and so carefully curated. And I'm not bringing this up because I'm specifically asking for advice or sympathy. I have just found it powerful in the past when other people have been honest this way. So I think that's everything. I was going to say, let me know what you think about any of these books, because that's usually what I say at the end of my videos, but I didn't talk about any books today, except for Lincoln in the Bardo, which you guys are like, please stop talking about Lincoln in the Bardo. I will, till my end of the year video. Anyway, I don't know how to end this now. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching. No, I can't do it like that. Hang on. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching. Okay. Bye for real.